This thing's a beast. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, stick around for a while. We got a very special day on hand here. It's a wet, windy, nasty day, but it's gonna be a special day nonetheless. Dad's on his way up Frankenmuth. He's got our 9400 and bean drill. We made a trade. He's driving it up there, and he's driving a big horse, our new Big Johnny, back to the farm. We'll touch on that in a minute when he gets back. He should be up there by now, about a 4-hour drive tractor ride. But that's how you do it. Instead of taking the tires off and shipping it, you just drive it home. I want to give you a little background on how we got to where we are at this point. I want to take you back 30 plus years ago when Mom and Dad first started taking this farm over from Grandpa and Grandma. Put yourself back into the early 90s. Back when there was no cell phones, no internet, no nothing. People were loving life, living good. Here's a picture of Mom in the milking parlor, the same milking parlor that we still use to this day. And here's a picture of my brothers and I at the county fair. That was all we cared about. That was life. And that's me in the center with the trophy. When my parents took this farm over, they weren't working a lot of ground, just enough to take care of the cows, okay? So they needed a big tractor to use. They had a couple 2-wheel drives. First tractor Dad bought and we used, I remember this, I was probably 10 years old, the Case Traction King. This tractor was good. It was loud, but it did the job. People still use them this day. They're around. He only used that for a few years. He used that for a few years and then ended up moving on. Remember, I've referred to my dad as the auction king. You know, he's pushing 70 now. I calculated him at over 1,000 auctions in his lifetime, farm auctions. That's 30 a year times 30 years. You do the math. So he learned the trade. You know, Mom taught me everything I needed to know about milking the cows. She was the actual cow guy, cow woman. Dad was the guy that did the crops and the machinery and kept everything going, and he still milked. So it's not like he didn't know what was going on, but she was more into the cows. Me and her milked for 10 years, you know. Lost her a couple years ago, not even, but we're still kind of dealing with that. But anyway, Dad brought in an 8630. Then he brought in an 8640. He had two, and we had 2 rigs going. By that time, my brothers and I were in high school. We were working ground. They had bought more ground, and we started doing more crop farming on the side. So we had 2 rigs, and plus those are older, higher hour tractors. You needed to, because one might break down. You know, it happened, and yeah, imagine that. So we keep both them going, or try to anyway, and then we about graduated. I went in the military, and when I got back, when I got in there in 2000, I was in about a year. 9/11 kicked off, and that was a pain in the butt. That screwed everything all up. I finally came home a year later, and Dad brought in another rig. So about that time, he sold the 8630, and he brought in an 8400. And to this day, we still have this tractor. So when I come back on leave, this thing was sitting here. This was a big deal when we got this. We worked ground with this we worked ground with this till probably 2016. We've used like a 28-foot disc on it, and we did everything with it. We planted with it. We worked ground with it. He used the chopper with it. We'll probably never get rid of this tractor. This was a big purchase when he bought it, but man, has it been a good tractor. These are one of the #1 tractors ever built. So all the while when Dad's trying to upgrade them tractors, you know, he had the 8400 and he had the 8640 at this time. He was trying to upgrade. We started getting into ag bagger. He started getting this. We had another older tractor. He's trying to upgrade grain trucks, semis, sprayer, all that at one time. So it's a lot harder than you think while you're trying to milk the dairy herd and keep up on that. These are blowers. This blower come from an auction, a square baler back there. That's to keep it all up at one time beyond the big 4-wheel drives. So we worked ground. Well, I got out of the military in probably about 04, and at that time he did it on his own again. He sold the 8640, And because once he got that 8400, he realized that newer tractor, how efficient those were compared to an older one. So he found that 9400 with the triples that we, of course, it didn't have the triples on at the time, but it's a 9400 we just traded in. He found that down in Illinois. Funny story, he went down there to look at that, and the guy wasn't around, but he seen it parked in the field. So he went and jumped right in it, and ran it, hooked to a chisel plow and ran it, did a couple rounds. He said, I want this tractor. This tractor's good to go. And so he contacted him, reached him, said, I want it. They delivered that on a low boy. I remember, I'll never forget, Mom and Dad and me and Mark at the time. My younger brother's not even on the farm yet. This is probably 04. And this thing's sitting on there, tires are about bald. But man, it was a proud moment, I'm telling you. So after using that 8400 and the 9400 to work ground primarily, we finally broke down. That was about 10, 12 years we ran that. We broke down a few years back and bought another 9400. Got the heavy wheel weights in here. We found this on an online auction so we could semi-retire that 8400. No more working ground for it. Still gonna chop with it, still gonna plant corn with it. But we wanted, so now we had the two big horses and we were sitting pretty good with that. Now we can run bigger cultivators, bigger discs. Yeah, this old girl has treated us right. And the reason we traded in the other one is because this thing seemed like it was a little bit tighter of a machine. I mean, look at the tread on this thing. We ended up putting new tires on this also. Hang on a second, guys. My phone's buzzing. She's buzzing. Hello? Yes, yes, sir. Okay. Alrighty, see you in a little bit. That was Dad. He's on his way up with that tractor already. He's coming down Bowers. Let's catch up with him. Let's go. And there she is, the latest and greatest tractor on this farm, John Deere 9560R. That's 560 horse. Looks like he had to go down some back roads. She's a little muddy. Look at them weights on this thing. So this is 2015. And this is now, look at them weights. Wow. Wow, that's to keep the power to the ground. Hey, look at that, two, 4, 5 outlets. So 2015, we jumped up with that old 9400. We jumped up 15 years and 3,000 hours, because there's about 3,000 some odd hours on this. But the tires look good. This is 30 years in the making, guys. I mean, the guys and Dad, they won't communicate it very much. They're not going to say much about it. But this here, this is a big deal for us. This is something we've been working for and towards for a long time. Let's get up inside of it. Get up in this big thing. Wow. And we're sitting down, leather interior, got a buddy seat. That's what's nice about these newer tractors. They've got CD player, Bluetooth. That's what's nice about, you can teach someone how to run them. How do you even turn this thing on? Oh, there's no key. That's a knob. No, them are the lights. We gotta find the key. It's down here. And the screen, she's loaded up. Let's see if she'll fire. like a kid in a candy store. She's rumbling. Man, this thing's a beast. We'll just drive her up and back. What a tank this thing is. Now you see why we were trying to buy that 44-foot wide cultivator. Need to get bigger iron. 560 horse. A lot of ponies. Man, this thing's huge. So you've seen it. This was it. This baby's bad to the bone. And the thing is, I probably won't even run this that much. You guys don't see me running this equipment too much. I'm in with the cows, but I can tell you who and what paid for it. The cows did. I got one other thing I want to show you. But yeah, I think that's the same year as the combine. And that was another thing. That combine we had built up, started at the 9500 combine. Now we got a S670 or something like that. So anyway, yeah, that wind's starting to kick up. It's just nasty. Dad come and pulled this home. He was up at that auction north of here, Richardson. Someone commented they thought they were going to see me there, but like I said, I don't normally get out for the auction. Dad goes there. This is it's an auger mate. So what's nice about this is this looks like it's got a new motor. Honda. I like the way they set this up. These are nice for when you go to the field for planting beans. Look at that. They got a graphite. This is like a tip-top wagon. Wrong color for us, but what are you gonna do? We've got two of these, one with an auger mate on it, and that's for you'll get the soybeans loaded in there. We got a field down clear in Elmont. We got one up in North Branch. We got 5-6 miles up the road. We used to hook onto a tractor, and we've got it with an auger, and you plug the outlets in, but it takes too long to get to the field nowadays. So you got an auger mate on there, and you can hook up to a pickup. You can scoot up to that field and fill the guy up, you know, who's planting the beans. But yeah, he told me he coming home with this. He says now we can sell that one, and we've got that's a plastic cup auger on there. But now we can get rid of that one. So now you got two to tote around. So it's spring. We're in a good mood. We're getting stuff dropped off now. We're feeling good about it. Another thing we were up to is we had a real nice day. So Dad pulled this corn head around, and we finally dug it out. This thing was packed full of crap. Dug it out, blew it out with air, because we finished mid-January with corn. You guys have been around. You remember that. You were there. I was the only one showing drone footage of corn harvest. That was the last one. We had a bearing out on one of these sprockets, and so it's getting pressed in right now. And then when I went and flipped this one up, this ear broke off, this snout. That's aluminum. We went and got that welded. But yeah, this bearing was out when we finished. Didn't know it, but everything went good. And you see the combine still got all that grain dust on it. It needs to be washed. But like I said, you got three guys, three brothers and Dad going on 20 years together, pushing. Next thing you know, you look up and you're starting to gain some headway. You're gaining ground because you got your nose to the grindstone. Getting about time to lock these cows in the mill. You see this, remember that huge sand pile we had? She's shrinking. There's probably only about a third of it left. Come on in, guys, don't be shy. How you doing? Good to see you, boss. Hey, evening. Hey, I'm not walking you down. Go on by. You're fine. You're just fine. We got a fresh one there. Oh, look at this cow. 81. Nice cow, but if you get on the wrong side of her, she might take a pop shot at you. Yeah, speaking of sand, I had some stalls that were getting low. I had to fill them up. Look at that stuff. Whew, smells good. Shut this down. Yeah, you see this hat I'm wearing? Rick Duttler, land surveyor, buddy of mine. If you ever need some farm or anything surveyed, he's your guy. He surveyed all our field and all our farm, different fields. But anyway, he's the one that gave me that drone. You remember? So courtesy, the drone footage is courtesy of Rick Duttler. I always want to give him a shout out and say thanks for that drone. He missed the drone footage like a year ago, so he just gave me one. So thanks to Rick. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Hey, couple things. Yesterday, Rochelle and Grant and I went over to Lansing, the Lansing Center for Michigan Milk Producers Association annual meeting, 106th annual, and we got presented this award, 2021 Outstanding Young Dairy Cooperators. So we appreciate the award. It was quite the honor. We had to get up on stage and do a presentation, a PowerPoint on our farm and talk about our family, and actually got pretty choked up about it. You know, when I had a picture of my grandfather on there and a picture of my mom and my brothers, and it's easy to talk about it, but when you start putting pictures and seeing it, and you know, it just, you realize how much you appreciate them and all the dedication and hard work that went into building the farm. I had an old picture of the farm and a new picture of the farm, and just how far we've came, and I kind of talked about that with that tractor. That's why I want to make this video. I know it was a lot of talking today, but I just wanted to get the point across that everything that we're doing is long term, and it means a lot to us. We're not just doing it to do it, you know what I'm saying? So hey, it's getting pretty nasty out there. We got some snow flurries coming, and it's gonna get this next week or two. I mean, that's how March is. March, we had like 70 degrees, but March in Michigan can get kind of ugly. So we're still dealing with the mud, but we're gonna get through it. So thanks for hanging in there. I'll try to get another video out. We've got another couple big things coming next week, and I'm gonna take you along and show you what those are. So, and on that note, Farm Focus for a hat, tumbler, shirt, and stay tuned. God bless.